Hello, hooligans! Today I'm going to talk to you about face blindness, also called prosopagnosia, also called my facial recognition software is broken. Have you ever run into somebody in public and you think, I feel like I know that person from somewhere, but I don't know where? And then what if they start talking to you and you still can't remember where they're from and you're just hoping that they bring it up so that you have some kind of answer and you don't feel stupid for not knowing who they are? If you know what that's like, welcome to the little leagues of face blindness. The question I probably received the most about it is simply, what is it? Prosopagnosia is a cognitive disorder that limits a person's facial perception. Where you can tell people apart just by looking at them and you know exactly who it is, I might have to think about it for a little bit. And there's a lot of people that look similar, so I would accidentally call them the wrong name, or I would forget entirely that I knew them. Another question I've gotten is, how often do you accidentally greet the same person multiple times? Well, I have met my upstairs neighbor probably dozens of times, and I could see him again today and it would be a completely new person for me. This is especially troublesome where I work, because I work at a very popular amusement park. And when I'm out at the greeter position, sometimes I see the same people, but I don't know that they're the same people. And people get offended if you don't recognize them specifically. Even though we get thousands of people every day, everybody wants that special treatment that you know who they are. And that's fine, but I can't do that because I have a stupid brain, I guess. I don't know. Especially when I have to height check children. I might height check the same one, which is totally not amusing for the parent. I try to pass it off with a little joke like, oh look, you got bigger since the last time you were here. But again, they don't really find it amusing when they just want to get in there and ride. One person asks, are you face-blind with celebrities? Yes, sometimes. There's always the classic Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley during the filming of Star Wars, where even their mothers had a hard time telling them apart. That was impossible for me. Game of Thrones is a total nightmare, but I guess that's true for neurotypical people as well. In the scene when Robb Stark died, I didn't know that was him right away, so I was like, who was that? Who just died? Oh, no! So that wasn't as cool. Ironically, the movie The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg, that one I didn't have trouble with, even though some of my friends did. I guess maybe because I grew up watching Leonardo DiCaprio and he dies a lot. In the show Longmire on Netflix, when his daughter Kate was in a car wreck after trying to drive the natives to vote, when she was in the hospital with the head wrap on, my brain kept telling me, is that Vic? Wait, no, that can't be. And I kept getting confused, even though I absolutely adore Katie Sackhoff, and there's no reason why I should ever get her and someone else confused, but, yeah. Sorry, love you, Starbuck. Do I look like everybody else? That's a good question, actually. I know this person asked me as a joke, but it actually brought up some good answers. I don't confuse everybody. Again, I have a lesser degree, and this might be different for someone with the hardcore version. But for me, it tends to happen with people that I meet in close succession, usually up to like 3 people. I used to work at an indoor theme park, and there was these 3 ladies who worked up in the offices who, to me, for the longest time, I thought it was all one person until one day I saw them all 3 talking to each other, and I'm just like... It didn't help that one of them did not like me, so she was probably very confused every time I started talking to her like we were buddies. Because the other 2 were perfectly fine. But I always had trouble because if I saw one of them, I didn't know which one it was, so I tried to avoid names. Unless they were wearing the name tag, that was always helpful, but they didn't always do that. So now, if I do know you, and you change your appearance, Danny, that can be troublesome for me. If I meet you and I've known you for a while and you have this big full-on beard and then you shave it off, screw you. That's a big thing, is the changing of appearances. If you show me a picture of yourself with and without a beard, you're 2 different people. Just screw you, screw you, screw you. I'm just kidding, but... This next question, this person had a hard time asking because it's a little more controversial, I guess, but it has to do with, do all Asians or black people all look the same? Or, race-related face blindness. And actually, I don't think that one is a prosopagnosia thing. I think I have read somewhere that there's an evolutionary trait that allows for people to identify faces within their own race, but have trouble with other races. So you hear, white people say, I can't tell Japanese from Koreans from Chinese. And it's true, a lot of us have trouble with that. They could all be related for all you know, or they could not at all. And I have asked, we had an international student from China come in to work, and I asked them, do you think me and him could be related? And he's like, yeah, I can't tell you guys apart. And I'm like, so it does happen in reverse. So, if my commenters, my viewers, if you have problems with that, leave a comment. Because I know it does happen in reverse. I think it's, no one talks about it in the reverse way. I think it has to do with where you were raised and how much exposure you had. I went to school in a very small town. We didn't really have much ethnical diversity in my school. We had no Muslims. We had 2 Jewish people. Due to my face blindness, I couldn't tell. I can't just point out to someone and say, he's probably Jewish or whatever. Which I guess I like because I don't have to label people, and people are just people. And if you're cool with me, then eventually I'll learn your face and your name. And if not, then whatever. Humans also demonstrate sensitivity to expertise in the form of the other race effect, whereby discrimination and recognition of memory for same race faces are better than other race faces, presumably owing to the fact that we have more experience with own face races during development. I'll leave a link for that study down below, so if you're interested, you can check it out. There's some interesting things there. So how do I tell people apart then, especially at work? Well, certain unique features like beard, or if you have like a unique face, tattoos, if your eyebrows are different, if you wear your hair the same a lot, if it's a different color, or if you're someone I find particularly attractive, that can help. If you change those things, that sucks. I'm more perceptive about vocal patterns. To some people, a lot of people sound the same, and I can identify them easier. I don't know if that's a thing or not. Clothes is a big thing, especially at work. I am more likely to remember who you are if you have a unique or funny shirt. Everyone that wears those extreme couture shirts, you all look the same to me. You get these like big, husky guys with their extreme couture shirts and their beard and their heavy metal looks. Unless you're like an albino Italian guy, I'm not going to know who you are. That's a reference to my friend, by the way. Hi, Eric. Business suits bother me. They all look the same. I see absolutely no point in spending $10,000 on a suit that looks exactly like a $10 one. Get help. Usually a combination of these things. If I work with you and I always see you in a uniform and then you come in on your day off wearing your civvies, I'm not going to know who you are unless I hear your voice or you get up in my face like, hi! I'm like, oh, it's you. Oh, hi. There's this girl that worked here temporarily, and then she left, and then she comes in to visit every now and then, and every time I will stare at her like, something ain't right here. Oh, I know you. She thinks it's funny because I've told her 100 times why, but again, some people get offended by it, and I can't help it, guys. I'm sorry. Don't get mad. I have been asked about the movie Faces in the Crowd, with Mila Jovovich, and I have indeed watched the movie. I did enjoy watching it, even though it wasn't entirely accurate to me. I don't know if it's accurate to other people with it. There was some corny scenes in it, of course, but the part with her not recognizing her own face, I don't know if that counts as prosopagnosia. I think that's a different disorder. Well, some people do have that, and it's completely unrelated. I don't have that problem. I know who I am. I see myself in my camera right now. The scene where her husband just shaved his beard, that sucked. My roommate had to deal with me screaming at the TV, like, why would you do that? Don't do that! You horrible, horrible man! He was laughing. But back to the mirror thing, though, I do wonder sometimes if I see myself the way other people see me. I guess you can't possibly know that. It's like hearing your own voice on a recorder. You're like, do I sound like that? I don't know. Is that how other people see me? Maybe that's normal for everyone to wonder. Or maybe that's just like an alternate universe, and they're trying to get out, and they can't because there's that little things in the way. And they can't until science discovers a way to let them out, and then all hell breaks loose and we die. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up here. If anyone has any questions that I haven't answered, please don't ask me ones I already did, because I would know you didn't actually watch. Feel free to drop a comment. If anyone has any experience with this, please comment. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you found this interesting. See you in the next video.